Okay. What you're seeing here today is the live broadcast in Hong Kong's Victoria Park. And today we're probably seeing one of the largest mass protests in Hong Kong that started in June over the controversy of an extradition bill that would allow Hong Kongers to be transferred back to China to be trialed by the Millennium regime. And an approximated 1.4. Okay. Okay. What you're seeing right now here is a live broadcast in Hong Kong's Victoria Park. We are probably seeing one of the largest mass protests in Hong Kong since June, when Hong Kongers started to protest on the street over a controversial extradition bill that Hong Kongers say would allow anyone to be transferred back to China to be put on trial by the Millennium regime. And today, about an estimated 1.45 million people attended this fluid rally, meaning that people will only be staying there for a very short span of time, maybe 15 minutes, then move on to somewhere else, like on the street. Traffic was clogged and a lot of roads are closed, but it was largely very peaceful, and there was minimal police interference. You can see here that it's still
我哋見到啱啱咧有人咧就喺呢個天台上面啦，係喺度咧就嘗試影相嘅。咁而家示威者咧就投緊大量嘅激光筆指向嗰邊啦，佢哋後來又縮翻去㗎啦。
This rally was started by the organizer called Human Rights Front, and they were the organized.
現場嘅示威者就叫回水啦咁
樣。Since June, that attracted millions of people on the street.
Got it. 點解叫回水嘅？可唔可以問下點解啱啱講普通話？我唔想接受訪問。如果唔影樣得唔得？冇，唔緊要。
哦，
即係你哋司儀佢哋會係大陸嘅武警過嚟咁樣。
大概我 get 到嘅意思就係咁啦，冇錯。
你哋仲講咗啲乜嘢啊？啱啱好似仲聽到回水，啲回水點解咧？
講緊係即係啲，因為之前有個人俾人俾警察拉咗，就係講緊話呢個佢買攻擊性武器啊嘛，即係雷射筆啊嘛。咁跟住就話呢佢個雷射筆嗰度係，即係警方個記者會就示範話係唔知點樣攞支嘢係照住份報紙10幾秒就着火啊嘛。咁跟住就係喺太空館出面，同埋今日你都見到啦，就係我哋即係用咁多支雷射筆照佢10幾秒都冇着火，咁咪即係話一係咧就係警方個 claim 係不確嘅，一係咧就係製造雷射筆嘅廠商嚴重誤導市民，咁所以咪叫佢回水咁解咯，大概。
明白，唔該晒你。
我想請問下你哋係邊個機構？
Protesters are using their laser pens to flash toward the police in front of the police bureau. And this is over a controversy earlier that the protesters suspect that there is a spy among the crowd, and they demand some police action. Rioters in turn are also coming out, as you can see here. It's getting very dark, but as you can see, people are still in relatively good order. However, today's rally is themed to highlight the police violence, and people in the past few weeks have been demanding an independent investigation into police excessive use of force, including shooting tear gas in subway station and enclosed area, which is very dangerous for people there. And human rights organizations, as well as the Human Rights Commission at the United Nations, also expressed the same kind of demand, hoping that the government in Hong Kong could take action. Just a few minutes earlier, the Human Rights Front, the organizer of the event, announced that this would be the end of the rally. People are in front of the police bureau. There is still a large crowd of people.
那我们现在呢，正在前往那个天桥上面的位置，那边呢聚集了很多的民众。我们尝试呢，往近一点的那个地方去看一下。
Our latest news from Hong Kong reporters is that there is a there's a number of people gathering in front of the police bureau. They're in Central District. Even though the crowd is not very large, the police are already out on the street. There are people, the police are searching and demanding to see people's IDs. A lot of people are reminding each other to be safe.
天桥上，我们看到有人写着“五大诉求缺一不可”，独立调查开枪事件。下面呢，那个女生呢，就是之前在尖沙咀，国立购物大道上面被警方呢怀疑是用布袋弹射穿了她的护目镜，然后呢。 历次以来的使用的那些暴力的事件以及。那我们看到呢，这个下阙道这边有很多的民眾聚集在這個天橋往上呢邊。
因為之前警察啦做咗個實驗嘅，就話呢啲咁嘅激光筆咧就會着火咁樣。咁而家咧大批嘅示威者啦就用佢哋激光筆就射向咗正中，咁就未有着火嘅情況。所以而家嘅示威者即係調侃緊警察咧，就話咦點解未有着火嘅現象呢？咁樣。咁現場咧，我哋見到有幾位嘅防暴警察出咗嚟啦，就大概4、5位嘅，6個。現場示威者見到你6個嘅，影到你哋得唔得
？June over the controversy of an extradition bill that Hong Kong said would further infiltrate into Hong Kong's autonomy and interfere with its independence.
咩事嘅咋？
總嗰邊嗰啲燈咧係而家全部熄。
The protesters say that they want to see the bill's complete withdrawal, plus full investigation into police excessive use of force.
由維園行翻過嚟金鐘係啊，係啊。
唔該晒。那刚才有民众表示呢，他们是从维多利亚公园呢游行过来金钟这边呢，因为他们一度呢曾经想进入维园，但是呢进入不去啊，进不去，他们就在外面那样走过来了。
Despite the heavy rain, today's protest at Victoria Park still attracted over 1 million people, and protesters in black shirts with umbrellas clogged the street and fill up main roads and alleyways in today's fluid rally. Even after the protest has formally ended,
那也有很多人呢在喊着口号说光复香港时代革命。那边呢，我看到有个民众他自发拿着一个垃圾袋在收集大家的垃圾。那大家呢都在往里面去扔垃圾。收集垃圾。唔係，我想問下你啊，點解你會想今日會嚟到呢度做呢一個收集垃圾嘅？係其實以前都有做開嘅。
唔係，本身我係幫手派物資嘅。你哋係？我係美國新台。而家訪問下呢個民眾，佢係自發拎住一個垃圾袋嚟收垃圾。其實我只係頭先派緊物資，咁派完之後有袋啊嘛，睇下有冇垃圾俾我袋。因為費事即係講真唔想，即係其實我哋嘅目的只係想政府 pass 即係。
Our reporters in Hong Kong's live site told us that there's that in Saiwan, some volunteers among the protesters were searched and Some people are what we can see right now is that people are still largely very peaceful, and they are shouting slogans such as "Reclaim Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time." The slogans such as "Reclaim Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time" have become very popular since June, when protesters started to take to the street, demanding the government to withdraw a controversial bill. Today's protest, as you can see, is largely peaceful, and people are only chanting slogans in unison. They gathered in front of the government headquarters, hoping the administration could hear their demands. The 5 demands that people have been repeatedly highlighting include the full withdrawal of the controversial bill that could allow the mainland regime to take anyone from Hong Kong soil to be transferred back to mainland China for trial. Independent investigation into police violence, and a greater democracy. In front of the government headquarters, the protesters are still gathering in large numbers, and they're still chanting slogans such as "Reclaim Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time," pointing the laser pens toward the police.
咁現場我哋見到咧，就係正總隔離夏慤道嘅天橋上面啦，同埋夏慤道天橋下面咧，就有大概幾千名嘅示威者咧喺度聚集㗎。咁現場咧，我哋見到咧，就佢哋並冇進一步嘅行動，只係向呢個正總咧投向咗雷射筆嘅。咁現場我哋見到咧，就除咗正總裏面
in front of the police bureau, there's not a lot of protesters, but police have been gathering. And you can see that some are armed and some are not. Many people from the Sky Bridge are coming down to regather again in front of the police headquarters, the government headquarters.
咁而家現場咧就落起雨㗎啦，開始咧就慢慢啦有啲雨，所以現場嘅示威者咧就擔起遮啦。 咁而家有現場示威者咧講起用廣東話講後果自負啦。其實之前呢，就係解放軍啊出咗一個3分鐘嘅宣傳片，就有就對付緊一大批嘅示威者咁樣啦。佢哋咧就用咗廣東話講後果自負。咁好多人認為呢個解放軍嘅3分鐘嘅宣傳片係針對香港嘅示威者而作出一個威嚇嘅。所以現場
staying here in front of the police, in front of the government headquarters. They're pointing laser pen toward the building. The police are coming in and out of the building. Protesters in turn are shouting 5 demands no one should be left out.
而家現場嘅示威者咧就唱翻起歌啦，就調侃緊警察嘅學歷咁樣。
Anger has been
現場咧，我哋聽到有嘭嘭聲嘅，有敲擊嘅聲音，但係暫時仲未分清楚咧係警察嘅發出嘅聲音啦，定係示威者發出嘅聲音嚟嘅。Despite the occasional showers, you can see that people with umbrellas are still gathering here.
The Civil Humorous Front, which was the organizer of today's rally, have called on people to remain peaceful and rational. And we can see here that no violence has been reported currently. People have remained largely very peaceful, walking in a very relaxed manner.
我哋見咧都有好大批嘅示威者已經散去咗啦，咁樣。咁今日點解仲喺呢個下角？
Right now is our Hong Kong reporters interviewing people. The middle school aged protester said that she and other protesters all want the government to hear their demands. The 5 demands including independent investigation into police violence and the full withdrawal of the controversial extradition bill. She also highlighted the injury of last week's female volunteer who was helping the protesters on the front line but was shot on the right eye by reportedly a beanbag bullet during a police clearance operation. The police has denied that the injury was caused by them, instead accusing protesters for the action, but there have been video footage showing that on the goggle that the female volunteer was wearing has a beanbag bullet on there. The protester said that she was very angry but helpless because of what the police have been doing recently. And in recent weeks, there have been a lot of angry voices because of the police increasingly aggressive action toward protesters. People have been dragged on the street, arrested because of passing by the places where protesters have been gathering, and the like. There have been middle-aged people, residents, and even middle schoolers who were randomly arrested or searched for ID. And the police have been increasingly taken to the use of tear gas, rubber bullets, and the like to clear the crowd. She also highlighted the fact that police were using tear gas in the enclosed areas such as the subway station, which is not tolerable. She said that the police were using tear gas against normal civilians who never ever seen tear gas before, and they had to wash their eyes and help each other. Tear gas is very dangerous. It can actually cause people to die, she said. police are educated people and they should understand people, Hong Kongers.
其實有氣管啦，首先係氣管以後會好容易斷氣啊，突然間哮喘啊咁嘅類似嘅嘢，同埋有嘔同埋有屙咗差唔多成年。咁點解即係面對一個咁困難嘅情況啦？
She also said that police have been targeting people's head, which was unacceptable.
我哋而家唔出嚟，唔通等幾時啊？我哋冇理由見住呢個咁我哋嘅屋企俾人哋就咁侵蝕噶嘛。我用侵蝕呢個，因為我諗唔到更加好嘅詞語。我唔好講話大陸啦，我哋直接講中國啦，真係好無奈咯，好嬲咯。咁譬如我哋見到啦，就係啱啱有示威者咧，就向住政總咧講國語㗎，咁就話懷。
In light showers, protesters are still here at the site after the rally ended. They point laser pens toward the sky. The laser pen protest was sparked by the arrest of a university student leader who was arrested for possessing laser pens, which the police deemed an offensive weapon. As you can see here, large numbers of protesters still remain on the streets from Causeway Bay to the government headquarters. Traffic has been largely clogged, but they have not been confronted by the police. The people on the street include protesters from all different ages, including a lot of young college students and even people in their 70s or 80s. A lot of people said that they're not afraid of the police. this. And this is the theme that they want to draw out today, that the police have been using violent actions toward them despite them haven't done anything wrong. Anger toward the police have been mounting since weeks ago when at a subway station there a dozen or so mobsters attacked the people there in the subway station, indiscriminately beating up passengers, including the people in black shirts and other people as well, causing over 40 people to be hospitalized. And since then, people have been criticizing the government inaction and the police slow response toward the incident. They said that they arrived over 40 minutes later, and afterwards there have been multiple instances where police shot tear gas toward protesters at close range in closed areas, and using large amounts of weapons toward them when it was not necessary. Today, an estimated 1.5 million people attended the rally highlighting police violence, and even after the rally ended officially about 15 minutes ago, people are still staying on the streets in large numbers, pointing their laser pen to the sky and surrounding the police headquarters. Protesters showed no sign of leaving, but there have been warning signs from the police saying that they have to leave immediately. No violence has been reported today at the rally, which organizers deemed a fluid rally, which means that people will be staying there and coming in and out instead of staying in one large area such as Victoria Park where the rally was held. Crowd had been cheering here in front of the government headquarters. But we have heard news that police are also gearing up. It seems that more people are joining. Today's protest was marked with the theme peaceful, rational, nonviolent. But earlier on, several people were searched by the police, who also filmed the whole process, including their facial features and their personal information. In front of the government headquarters, people are still gathering in large numbers, and there's no sign that they're leaving anytime soon. On the white wall, people also sprayed some words such as give ramification to the June 4th incident. Far away, we can see a bus, while protesters continue to point laser pens toward the sky. In the past few weeks, protesters have been highlighting the fact that the police are using excessive violence toward them. And one protester specifically said that she got 6 tear gas bullets during one police clearance operation. Today's protest saw a very high turnout with over 1 million people attending at least, and Civil Human Rights Front, the organizer of the rally, said that they will give a more accurate estimate later. A lot of protesters said that the high turnout is a clear message to the government that they cannot continue to ignore the protesters' demands.
刻我哋見到我哋都係非常之和平理性咁樣去發生，正正係林鄭之前所要求嘅，希望係和平發生。我相信今晚亦都唔會有一啲嘅衝突事件發生。我相信香港人嘅智慧同埋選擇，我哋要求林鄭月娥係必須要係回應香港市民嘅5大訴求，去話翻俾香港人知，和平理性嘅表達方式，政府係會聽到，係會接受，係會回應。
Our reporters are interviewing a person from the Civil Human Rights Front, which is the organizer of the rally, and they're demanding the government to give a response. They said that the rally was spontaneous and voluntary. He said that he has confidence that today's rally will remain largely peaceful and rational and there will not be any violence. And said that he hopes the government to heed the 5 demands from the protesters, including the full withdrawal of the bill. If the current chief executive Carrie Lam still ignores what people are saying, then she will be basically encouraging people to continue to come out to protest. If Carrie Lam still refuses to give a response, then she will essentially be encouraging more actions from the public. It seems that the police are cooperating today. At Victoria Park, there's a very limited number, a very minimal number of police.
咁2個幾月，你覺得今次嘅即係嗰個信息
We only saw the police in front of the liaison office.
其實香港人表達俾全世界嘅信息一早就已經表達得好清晰。我哋香港人係即係感動全世界，就係我哋香港人嘅質素。
Their so-called attempt to maintain safety and security is only for the public, but not for the protesters.
表達俾全世界嘅信息其實係政府。究竟政府會
In fact, Hong Kong has been largely peaceful.
和平嘅示威真係冇用啦。The
public resorted to become more radical or more aggressive because the government continually ignores people's demands. This is the voice of the public.
就係遊行示威係市民嘅基本權利，政府係唔應該加以限制。而且我哋喺上訴嘅過程裏邊咧
，Over the 3 months, people's qualities have been very touching. It has the world are watching. Carrie Lam is essentially showing the world what the Hong Kong government is like. The organizer said that he has communicated with the lawyer. And he says that the police have no right to interfere because assembly is a right and it's a legal right that belongs to the public. The police have previously acknowledged that the Civil Human Rights Front, which is the organizer of the event, had have been very peaceful.
沿途上邊咧，我哋係冇辦法安排即係一啲嘅急救站咧，即係去即係做急救嘅。即係舉呢一個例子啫，仲有好多嘅。因為嗰個唔係我哋公眾活動嘅一個示威行動嘅。
Even though there have been previous allegations against the protesters that saying that they are very aggressive, but in fact they were not as exaggerated as what they said. He said that what he wants to say is there have been some challenges today during the rally, and a set of limitations set by the police. And that is why they chose to become more fluid. According to Civil Human Rights Front's latest estimate, there's about 1.7 million people attending today's rally. And he said that there could be more people attending, but because of police restriction, a lot of people didn't get to come here to the Victoria Park. And the organizer of the rally said that he's questioning what the police did in the previous dispersal operations and what it did to maintain public security. Jimmy Sham, the convener for Civil Human Rights Front, said that restriction is not a solution. And he says that if the government acknowledged people's demands, then there would not be today's rally. Jimmy Sham, the organizer of the rally, said that 1.7 million, which is the estimate of today's rally turnout, is incomplete because a lot of people didn't get to stay here and didn't get to be counted toward the turnout because of the police restriction, and they had to organize a fluid rally, meaning people couldn't stay here for very long. And a lot of people, because of the traffic and other settings, they didn't get to come to Victoria Park to attend the rally, instead going to some other areas nearby. But he also mentioned that police have been more cooperative today. Unlike the previous incidents where they were very aggressively dispersing the crowd. Near the government headquarters, some people are leaving, but as we can see, a large number of people still remain here on the street. We got the news from our Hong Kong reporters at the front line that there's about 10 or so police cars driving over to where people gathered. In Central, there's at least 2 police cars. The organizer of the event, Civil Human Rights Front spokesperson Jimmy Sham, said that at least 1.7 million people attended this latest rally today at Victoria Park, but because of police restrictions, which they're banned on the march from Park to Central, a lot of people didn't get to come here, and they had a lot of challenges even counting the numbers of the turnout. Jimmy Sham said that the number of people who gathered around Victoria Park was how they came up with the numbers of estimated turnout in Causeway Bay and Ting Hau. But a lot of people didn't get to the venue and ended up walking away toward Central and government headquarters, and they were not counted toward the number. And people shouted slogans such as "Reclaim Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time, Go Hong Kongers," in today's rally themed highlight of police violence. There has been a breach of trust diminishing trust toward the government and the police since June, when the government first brought out a bill that could allow the mainland communist regime to bring anyone back from Hong Kong to China to be trialed. And people say that this was the bill could further allow the Chinese government to interfere with Hong Kong's autonomy promised since its transfer back to mainland sovereignty. Across the government headquarters, a lot of people are still here. Today's protest was dubbed a fluid rally because of the police restriction requiring the people to only stay there for 15 minutes or so each time. And organizers say that about 1.7 million people took part in the rally, but said they weren't able to count other people who didn't get to Victoria Park because of the restrictions but went to some other areas. Regardless, today's rally has been one of the most massive protests in Hong Kong history. A larger one occurred about 2 months ago on June 16th, when about 2 million people attended the rally in protest against the extradition bill. Hong Kongers say that they're afraid that the mainland would further be able to interfere with Hong Kong's affairs by using the extradition bill and the like. And recently, the government in action toward the protesters' demands, as well as the police increasingly aggressive action toward them, have made the tension in Hong Kong to further build up. People are highlighting the human rights restrictions in China, including the social credit system that basically permeate into every aspect of people's life. People are being monitored constantly and followed when they're on the street, filmed by the street cameras, which are everywhere, and analyzed by mass AI data. in the mainland, the state-run media reports on Hong Kong rally have been largely highlighting the violence of what they call rioters, saying that people are inciting violence in Hong Kong, causing unrest. However, many other Western officials in different countries and human rights groups internationally have shown support toward protesters and they're urging government in Hong Kong and in China to open up a dialogue with the protesters and hear their demands. Just about half an hour ago, Civil Human Rights Front, the organizer of the rally, said that the estimated turnout for today's rally was about 1.7 million. It's only smaller than the record number of 2 million people on the street earlier in June over the extradition bill crisis. And the organizers said that the lower turnout was only because of the police restrictions, which made a lot of people unable to come over to the rally, instead going to some other places instead. Police have been largely absent in today's rally, but even after the protest was announced to be officially ended in about an hour ago, people are still here in front of the in front of the government headquarters, and there's no sign that they'll be leaving anytime soon. Occasionally, they'll be flashing laser pens. The Civil Human Rights Front said earlier that when there's no police, there's no injuries and no violence. And today, there was no violence reported at the site. The protesters say they want to send a clear message to the government, asking them to withdraw the bill that would further allow mainland regime to interfere with Hong Kong affairs and independently investigate into police excessive use of violence. In an earlier press briefing, the police admitted that they have blend into the crowd of protesters and dress up as them to make arrests. And just last week, a lot of people were angry because a medic who was at the site doing rescue effort, helping with protesters who were injured at the site, she was shot during a police dispersal operation on the right eye that could lead her to permanently lose eyesight. And today, the rally was themed to highlight the police violence. In addition to today's rally, the organizers, Civil Human Rights Front, said that they will be organizing another rally very soon, in about 2 weeks. They have been adhering to and repeatedly raising the 5 demands since June, including greater democracy and full withdrawal of the bill, and as well as the independent investigation into police violence. Our reporters told us that a number of police cars are driving toward the direction of the government headquarters where protesters are gathering. And because of this, a lot of people are alerting each other, asking them not to remain on Sky Bridge, where it's the most dangerous. Today's rally at Victoria Park is one of the largest mass protests since Hong Kong history, and Hong Kongers have been taking to the streets since June to protest against an extradition bill, which would allow the mainland regime to take anyone back to mainland China for trial. And Hong Kongers say that this would allow the communist government to further interfere with Hong Kong's affairs. And based on the one country, two system policy promised upon Hong Kong's transfer from British rule to mainland China, people in Hong Kong would enjoy a relative degree of autonomy. But Hong Kongers recently have been citing fears of losing this kind of freedom, saying that they have seen increasing interference from mainland China, such as publishers in Hong Kong being extradited back to China, arrested in China during a stay in China for expressing dissenting opinions. And today at Victoria Park, about 1.7 million people attended the rally to protest against the extradition bill. Organizers say that the turnout is likely much higher because there has been prior police restriction which made it difficult for them to count the actual number of attendees. A lot of people also didn't get to the site where the rally was held because of the traffic and the restriction, and opted to go to some other areas and protest instead. The rally today was dubbed a fluid rally because the police only allow people to stay there for 15 minutes at a time. Therefore, people are being flowing in and out of Victoria Park, clogging the streets in large numbers. Currently, the rally has officially ended, but protesters still chose to remain in front of the government headquarters, some other areas such as the police bureau, pointing their laser pens toward the sky and chanting some slogans such as "Reclaim Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time." And there has been no violence reported yet as of the day, and minimal police interference, but reports say that a number of police cars are driving toward the government headquarters where protesters gathered. There have also been a few people who were searched today by the police, including a few workers, volunteers from the protesters who were supplying some first aid products. Despite the light showers today, a lot of people showed up on the street with their kids, families, and friends, and holding umbrellas. Our Hong Kong reporters told us that some people who were earlier at Victoria Park were also walking toward the government headquarters to join the people there. Some people also built up barricades, like earlier during earlier protests. We heard that the police were also heading in that direction, but there has been no confrontation as of yet. Hong Kong reporters told us that some police also got off the police car inside the government headquarters, and they're anticipating some further action. Outside, on the streets, protesters are flashing laser pens toward the building. The inspiration of the laser show came from the arrest of a young protester who were accused of possessing offensive weapons, laser pens, which police said could be harmful to people. However, people have been using laser pens since, saying that their action have shown this would not be as dangerous as the police claimed.
China took over the city in 1997. Anti-government protests have not let up since June, and the international finance hub is now filled with tear gas and rubber bullets. So who are the protesters, and why are they doing this? Many of them are Hong Kong students, but there are also elderly people, lawyers, doctors, celebrities, and even government employees. On July 12, 2 million people took to the streets. That's about a third of Hong Kong's entire population. It all started with a bill. In February, the Hong Kong government introduced an extradition law that would allow anyone in Hong Kong to be sent to mainland China for trial, where courts are controlled by the Communist Party. This triggered the anger of the Hong Kong people, who are already seeing their freedom being encroached. Hong Kong is part of Chinese territory, but Beijing promised them democracy and high degree of autonomy when taking over the city. Many cite the freedom as reason for Hong Kong's economic prosperity. In the past 2 months, protesters are using every means possible to evoke a government response. They occupied the Legislative Council. They sat in airports and appealed to the international community. And they went on a general strike. City leader Carrie Lam suspended the bill on June 15th. However, she refused to withdraw it entirely, which is the action protesters are after. Demonstrators also want the government to free the protesters that have been arrested as well as for Lam to step down from power. Likewise, they are seeking an independent investigation into alleged police brutality during clashes with protesters. Lastly, they want a real democratic direct election. This is not the Hong Kong residents' first fight for freedom. Other attempts include the 2014 Umbrella Movement and the 2003 July 1st March. But the scale of the protest this summer reflect a different time has come. Beijing appears very unhappy with the situation. It has issued stern warnings one after another, calling protesters rioters and saying they will face legal consequences.
Point is that Hong Kong people, by pushing Carrie Lam around, are giving inspiration to people in China that they could do the same thing.
There are even rumors that the Chinese leader Xi Jinping will allow the People's Liberation Army of China to march in Hong Kong in order to kill the protest.
And so although he doesn't want to do it, he very well may, because he feels that the existence of the Communist Party is at stake.
The US and UK, along with other nations, have voiced their support in Hong Kong's fight for freedom. Protesters' efforts will not be slowing down anytime soon, and many say that this is the city's last chance.
Any final words for the people of Hong Kong?
You got to fight. Unfortunately, China will take away your freedoms. We know what they do with people in the mainland. You got to fight.
示威。咁其實咧，亦都有人擔心啦，就係話今日嘅示威活動裏面會有啲中共嘅武警或者公安咧，就響或者係香港警方咧就會混雜響入邊示威者入邊，而可能有機會挑起事端咁樣嘅。咁你對呢方面有咩睇法，同埋會唔會即係加強咗警覺咁樣？如果真係發現咗之後，你哋會有咩行動去做咧？
警覺就一定會加強咗啦，但我相信我哋香港人嘅應變能力一定應付得到咯。
咁如果真係發現咗，你會點樣做啊
？selfie 咯，同佢嚟張自拍啦，唔使講啦。
即係同佢影張相留念咁樣。
就影張相啦，唔使打佢，打佢都冇用噶嘛。
唔會打佢嘅。即係唔會對佢有任何嘅唔會打佢唔攻擊佢啦，只會同佢影張相咁樣留念。
係啦，我哋和平理性非暴力㗎嘛，咁我哋全部都和平㗎嘛，點會打人咧？打人嘅只係得呢個垃圾警察啫嘛。
You can see here on the street, people still remaining in large numbers, and on the barricades there are slogans that people sprayed, including "Reclaim Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time," a slogan that has become popular since June when protests first started over a controversial extradition bill. seems like there's no sign that they will be leaving very soon. Further on the building, you can see there are people flashing laser pens toward the sky.
佢哋只係用咧激光棒啦，就激光筆啦，指向咗政府總部嘅牆壁上面，同埋喺現場咧就嗌口號。咁亦都有一批一隊嘅示威者啦，組成咗一個隊伍啦，就叫全世界翻屋企嘅，就勸喻其他嘅示威者翻屋企，就叫全世界翻屋企。我哋睇下呢個隊伍嘅。
They're saying be water.
佢哋嗌緊咧全世界翻屋企。
More people are shouting slogans. They also remind each other to be safe and watch out. A few lawmakers also joined the protest.
因為啱啱咧我嚟東訪問過示威者啦，就問佢哋咧就點解要嗌全世界翻屋企咧？咁佢哋就話咧就驚而家現場咧有批和理非啦，就和平理性非暴力主張嘅示威者，驚佢哋咧就冇呢個前線嘅經驗啊，即係驚佢哋會受到傷害，同埋如果人潮如果唔散去嘅話咧，可能會引起警方嘅注意啦，所以希望佢哋散去。咁當呢個受訪問嘅示威者，我問佢你哋會唔會進一步嘅行動嘅時候咧，佢就話唔會嘅，因為咧想現場嘅和理非咧散去之後咧，佢哋自己亦都會散去㗎。
Today's rally was themed to highlight the police violence, and it has been really peaceful as of today, as of right now. They're also asking other people to leave, saying that they don't want to clash with the police. Most protesters here are dressed in black shirts, some wear helmets and face masks that have become a trademark since June for their attire. Some netizens are encouraging the Hong Kong protesters, saying that the victory will belong to them, and said, "Go Hong Kongers." Since June, mass protests have erupted over the controversial extradition bill crisis, and Hong Kongers, in fear of losing the region's autonomy, have been increasingly taking to the streets almost daily to ask the government to hear their demands. This this rally today is one of the largest mass protests since Hong Kong history, with 1.7 million people attending, according to the Civil Human Rights Front, who organized the event. And they said that the turnout could be much higher than the estimate because of the police restriction and because of the challenges that in counting the numbers. It has been largely quiet here, and the protest today has remained very peaceful. There was no reports of clashes or violence. Some people have opted to sit on the street, while other people are calling protesters to go home to avoid clashes with the police. Protesters are concerned that the continuing to stay here would cause police to come out. And because of the large numbers of protesters here, there are concerns that there will be confrontations causing people to stab on each other and lead to further injuries. Many people express that they will not stay here for very long and will go home. And there are people leaving, but some other people instead said that they will stay and have put on masks as well as helmets. They said that because they're not armed, there's not much they can do. Some people said that they will wait until the very last minute when the riot police come. A small number of protesters are reminding each other to watch out for their safety, because a lot of people didn't have the proper gears to protect themselves once the police choose to use tear gas or other weapons to clear the crowd. And some police cars are also driving toward the area, the government headquarters where protesters are gathering. It's unclear what police action would be. Now, police are also flashing very strong lights toward them, a very common practice during the police operations in the past few weeks to interfere with camera lights and other photography equipments. It's also a warning sign for people to leave. During the past few weeks, police have been increasingly violent, taking use of tear gas, rubber bullets, and sponge grenades to disperse the crowd. One medic volunteer who was helping at the front line with the injured protesters was shot on the right eye during a police operation, and people said that she was shot by a rubber bullet that could lead her to permanently lose her eyesight. And because of this, there has been angry response to from the protesters, and more protests in the past few weeks. Airports were clogged twice, that prompted flights cancellations for 2 days in a row. Today's rally was also aiming to highlight the police violence. Right now, it seems to get very tense, and people are taking out their cameras to film while the police are reportedly gathering toward the area, driving police cars at the government headquarters. And according to our Hong Kong reporters, there have been people in white shirts here that are likely from the police. And because of this, these people are becoming more tense. And the reporters are getting to the front to learn about the situation. People are still filming. There's probably a few thousand people here. And it seems that a few first aid volunteers are here as well. It's unclear what's happening. Seems that that's the person in white shirt. Our Hong Kong reporter said that this is the white-shirted person who was suspected to be a police undercover. And because of suspicion that he is a member of the riot police, people have surrounded him, but it's unclear what's happening. Police have also issued warnings for asking protesters to leave Harcourt Road, which is near the government headquarters where we are right now. It seems that the white-shirted person was injured. There's blood stains. Some other people are saying maybe this is a misunderstanding. Reports have it that police are also coming over. Shouts can be heard. Some people are shouting, "This is our people." And the white-shirted person is saying that he's alright. Seems that it's a misunderstanding. Other people continue to film and shout. The situation remains to be a bit tense. People are telling reporters to leave some space for the person to leave. He can be seen with some bandages on his head. Some friends are escorting him to leave. Reporters are saying that they just want to learn about the situation. The person in white shirt is slowly leaving with the help of several other people and surrounded by other protesters who are filming. There are still about a few thousand people here at the site in front of the government headquarters. And the person is shouting that he's okay. Meanwhile, there are still people shouting, asking each other to leave, while the injured person has ascended the elevator, going on the sky bridge. A lot of people link to this incident to the past few instances where the police disguise as protesters but instead make arrests of them. The person kept saying that he's okay, and other people also apologized. They're saying it's a misunderstanding while the person left on the sky bridge. there has been increasing distrust toward the police from the protesters because of the reports of undercover police among the crowd. And the police chief in the press briefing also admitted that there have been their police officers mixed into the crowd, and they will disguise as protesters according to the situation.
数百的民众呢聚集在这个下阙道两边的行车线路上，也有呢部分的人本来呢他们是聚集在政府总部那边，但是呢很多人都已经离开了。现在呢，因为刚才有分别是立法会议员呢，还有一些民众自发性的在喊呢，大家回家。今天的目标已经达到了，就说呢，这个运动呢不只有今天这一天嘛，所以呢，让大家呢不要再留在政府总部金钟这个地方，不然呢，他们担心呢，待会警察呢如果要出来清场的话呢，会有一些
As of August 14th, a total of over 740 people have been arrested. It's unclear what the most up-to-date number is. Police is not given warning of firing tear gas, but in some nearby roads, police are also blocking off the streets. There's still a large number of people gathering here. Organizers have largely called on people to remain peaceful, rational today during the rally, and right now people are calling each other to leave because they want to avoid clashes with the police. The official permit allowing people to gather is set to expire in about 40 minutes. There's a banner on the Sky Bridge saying, we have 5 demands and none should be left out, and asking for investigation into police violence. These are a few of the 5 demands that protesters have been repeatedly raising to the government since June over the extradition bill crisis. Reports have it that some riot police in green uniforms are on police cars driving over. Despite people reminding each other to remain rational and peaceful, and calling each other to go home to avoid confrontations with the police, a large crowd is still here in front of the police, in front of the government headquarters. Some people are asking or reminding each other that this is not a one-time fight, and telling each other to preserve their strength. There's protesters in the crowd, seemingly to tell each other, to tell the crowd something. a lot of people have put on their goggles, masks, and other protection gears.
Yeah, and I asked them to come down to stay here, and then the protester staying behind, and they persuade them to leave.
There has been intense debates on whether they should stay or go. The atmosphere is still relatively relaxed following an incident earlier where a person in white shirt was suspected to be a police member and seemed to have been injured on the head.
政府总部这边。
周圍行下，見好多人好長。
Some people are shouting, people asking people to go home. But despite the shouts, a lot of people chose to sit on the barriers on the street, and they have put on their goggles, face masks, and other protection gears. There's no sign that they will be leaving very soon. Today's rally was themed to highlight the police violence, and protesters in the past few weeks have been drawing out the fact that the police are being increasingly aggressive toward them, using pepper spray, rubber bullets, and tear gas with minimal warning, and shooting at close range, firing toward them in enclosed areas. They said that this will greatly endanger citizen safety. The rally organizers today have called on people to remain rational and peaceful and avoid confrontation with the police. And there has been minimal police interference until right now.
有一批示威者咧行緊落嚟㗎啦，就想話咧就喺11:59之前咧，即係話不反對通知書嘅完結之前咧，就想同其他嘅示威者一齊走，所以佢哋想一齊走咧就行翻落嚟咁樣。
Some people are already leaving. People are shouting toward each other, "Let's go home together." Many people are hoping to leave before midnight, when the time restriction set by the police is set to expire. In the past few weeks, there has been a split among protesters over whether they should remain rational and avoid confrontation versus taking more aggressive actions to urge government to heed their demands. And today, it again manifested in where some people are calling other people to leave. A number of protesters still choose to stay. Our Hong Kong reporters told us that just minutes ago, about 10 or so police cars are heading over in this direction. There are also 5 buses loaded with police coming. The crowd on the sky bridge is thinning out. Yeah, and on the street, there are also people leaving. Shouts can be heard from the crowd saying, "Go home, go home." They're suggesting that they have met their goal today, which is to send a message to the government. A record number of 1.7 million people attended the rally today at the Victoria Park, according to the organizer of the rally. And there's a sign suggesting that the police are gathering over. We can see from a distance that there's a purple sign near the barricades and it's saying slowly retreat. A lot of people are putting on their masks. Back away slowly, the police said.
那现在現場有消息。
The atmosphere is
咁我見
getting
到
a
啦，
bit
左右
tense
啦，
with more
響夏慤道天
police
橋上
gathering
面咧，
here.
就左右都見到寫住慢慢後退係。
Protesters and reporters alike are prepping for some further actions, and they're putting on masks. The purple flag says, "Back away slowly." It's a warning from the police. Despite the no objection letter from the police, it's set to expire in about 20 minutes, and people are also urging each other to leave.
"那我们也可以看到现场有一些示威者也是翻过障碍，那看起来准备是要撤离了。那现场也是有示威者说，在他刚才手指的方向有警察。
現場呢，我哋見到係過千名嘅示威者向現場㗎，咁並未有大區規模散去嘅異象。
那么我们仍然是在金钟的下阙道这个位置在进行直播。我们看到呢，有不少的民众呢，经过大家的呼吁之后，很多人已经选择呢往地铁站的方向撤离了。但是我们也看到有一部分的民众还是仍然决定呢是坐在这边呢，也有的是站在这个警察总部对外的这个地方呢，在这里。那我们也一路也听到很多人呢说呢，在龙河道那边呢，已经是有一个警车呢是在那边呢布防的了。那很多人呢就说赶紧走，不要呢因为有人留在这边呢，而给警方呢有借口从龙河道那边过来清场。
解前面要擔遮嘅？
我唔知喎，我唔知啊。
點解擔遮啊？
唔清楚。
是这个818的这个集会哈，后来呢是有一些民众呢游行到这边来了。这一个整个的活动呢，截至目前为止呢，我们知道呢是非常和平、理性、非暴力的。到目前为止，没有一个人呢因为参与了这个活动啊而被警方呢因为告他非法集结或者是其他的一些罪名呢而被逮捕。那么我们呢也是希望啊这个平静的这个气氛呢能一直延续。那在这边呢，我们看到在这个天桥上哈，仍然是有部分的示威民众吧，还是在这边呢在聊天呢，在这个。
喺呢度。冇影過。走啦！走啦！
點解擔遮啊？
那有民众呢举起蓝旗，那是慢慢后退，这样呢呼吁民众呢，让大家呢赶紧的去撤离回家去。那么这些都是民众自发性的在这里呢做一个呼吁大家赶紧去回家。他们说呢家里要人呐，现在要回家了这样。那这个队伍呢是从刚刚天桥那边呢聚集过来的。那从那边慢慢的延伸过来，也就是说呢，他们这样的话呢，会有一部分，我相信一部分的民众呢，会从天桥的那个位置慢慢进一步的撤离。那么他们现在撤离的方向呢，是从这个天桥往金钟的地铁站去。那么我们知道今天呢，这个金钟地铁站的尾班车呢，是一直到凌晨1点之前的，所以呢，现在这个时间呢，还是有地铁可以通车回家的。我们也知道，金钟地铁站是没有封的，所以呢，大家仍然可以平安，在这一刻仍然可以非常平安的离场。那现在呢，现场的民众呢都在鼓掌呢，热烈的，非常高兴的在这边欢呼哈，他们都在喊着呢，走了，走了，散了，这样，就是他们非常高兴啊。到这一刻呢，仍然是大家就是很齐心呢，在这边，那他们也一直在高喊，现在是喊光复香港，时代革命。那我们看到这有民众拿那个望远镜哈，在这边看，在观察远处的那个地方哈。那麼我們基本在看到這邊來哈，
就嗌緊咧光復香港時代革命啦。時代革命，時代革命，時代革命。我哋見咧下角度天橋呢度咧，其實基本上就冇
冇乜示威者㗎啦。咁只有少部分嘅示威者同埋啲記者喺度嘅啫。
那我们现在跟着这一批应该是在最后的一帮示威民众了，他们因为现在对镜头呢很多人都非常敏感啊，现在很多人就打起雨伞，他们也不希望媒体去太近的去拍他们，我们就在後面拍就好了，我們在後面。
啲示威者啦，向呢個方向叫可前進啦，就去地鐵站嘅。咁而家即係部分嘅示威者勸喻其他示威者咧就離開啦，同埋指引佢哋從邊個方向離開咁樣㗎。
那来到这个地方呢，就是大家越来越往就是反方向去走了，就是很多人都已经决定要离开了。因为我听到他们有些人也说了啊，那不走还留在这里干什么呀？那当然是走了，就是回家了。
大家咧就一批示威者亦都勸喻大家啦，就係話走啦走啦，今日大家都攰㗎啦咁樣，好多人都幫手勸喻啦，就走啦走啦咁樣。有示威者舉個旗啦，就叫慢慢後退嘅，從呢度。咁我哋見到咧就係話大批示威者咧就慢慢從呢個地方咧就入地鐵站㗎啦，呢個就係地鐵站嘅入口。見到人流已經向嗰邊行緊㗎啦，向地鐵站方向行緊㗎啦。
还有食物啊、饼干呐、我们也很多次被人家问到要不要吃面包啊、吃饼干呐、这样的，就都是那些民众自发性的捐赠一些食物、水。那么我们看到这边仍然是有这些都是急救了，有一些是急救人员在这边聚集了，也有是记者。那大家呢都在那边喊回家啦，让大家。那么我们看到那个金钟地铁站的那个位置啊，比较多人，那很多人正在往里面进去，那就是在往地铁站的方向去坐地铁啊回家了。那我们看到在天桥上以及呢这个整个下阙道来回行车线聚集的民众，其实也人数已经比较少了。那我们也感觉今天这个情况哈，其实是不管是从维多利亚公园呢，还是在这个金钟这边，整体的情况呢都是比较平静的。那至今呢，我们还没有看到在这个金钟这个地方呢，在下阙道了，至少在下阙道这边，我们没有看到有警察在这边推进呢。
屋企要人啊！
其實現場見示威者咧，由過千名嘅示威者到而家咧，其實就變得少咗好多嘅。現場我見咧就未必有過千名嘅示威者喺現場呢個夏慤道天橋上面或者佢嘅馬路上面㗎。咁亦都有示威者咧就喺度拍手啦。咁大批示威者咧離去緊。
那现场呢，民众是在大喊“一起走，一起走”。
Okay. Right now, people are shouting together, "Let's go home together, let's go home together." It's about 10 minutes before the police restrictions set to expire, which means that they would need to leave before the midnight, or the police might take some action to disperse the crowd forcibly. People are calling each other to go home together to avoid clashes with the police.
那现场呢，大家是
And
在
they're continually
地
chanting.
铁站的站口这里呢，呼吁大家一起走，一起离开这个地方。
The crowd is standing
那他
out
们也是
as people leaving
响
together
应这个活动的那个口号嘛，齐上齐
in
下，要
streams,
走的就一起走，
and they're
流呢
still
就一
chanting.
起流。
A lot of people are coming down the Sky Bridge, going into the subway station. And we can see some first aiders here.
他们也在喊呢，回家了，是时候回家了。那他刚才也听到有人讲呢，12点过后呢，就地铁开始没有了，就没车了。有些如果住得很远的那些地方呢，就比较难坐车了。
The sense of unity was very prominent into this rally, where people are aiming toward a peaceful protest, and they chant slogans in unison, hope to do things together, no matter what kind of violence or confrontation ahead. They also remind each other that the last train service will stop around 11:57, which is a few minutes away, and telling people to go home before that so that they will not be stranded at the subway station. And there has also been reportedly a person in red shirt trying to provoke protesters into violent actions, but it didn't happen, and instead the Hong Kong protesters chose to send him off from the subway station. People were still shouting. They also remind each other to avoid the traffic and watch out for cars. Unlike previous protests ended with violent clashes with the police, with police clearing the crowd with tear gas and rubber bullets. Today's protest has been largely very peaceful, and protesters continually tell each other to be rational and act in a rational manner and go home so that they will not clash with the police. The organizers said that this is a demonstration that the police interference is a root cause of many of the confrontations. Protesters said that they don't want to give any excuse to the police for further violence, and there have been reports from Hong Kong local side that police cars are driving over from 2 other streets. Compared to about 20 minutes earlier, the crowd has visibly thinned out. Some protesters say that the reason they're still here is because they want other people to leave earlier and safely. They're reminding each other to watch out for their own safety if they're standing on the road. They also said to watch out when they're changing gears, because a lot of people are wearing black shirts that have become a signature attire for their past few months. Some first aiders are also supplying some products for them. People can just take things from them if they need. A lot of people also express concerns that if they use separate passes, it will expose their identity, and therefore they are using the single pass. The goal is to go home safely. It's about 1 minute until the police permit officially expires, and people are continually urging each other to leave. They're shouting, "Let's go home together." So far, there has been minimal police interference. It's a very drastic difference from the previous protests where police fired tear gas in enclosed areas toward protesters, causing mass injuries. So far, about 740 people have been arrested for participating in protests.
混在里面呢去拍他们的大头照，那他们呢就会比较警惕。
But no violence has been reported today.
截至目前为止，我看到这个今天818这个集会啊，包括到后来呢，举报人员以后出来往这个湾仔、金钟、中环这一带民众呢，我可以觉得他们是形容是比较真是比较和平理性的，非暴力的。因为目前截至现在呢，已经是12点了，已经是午夜12点了，很多人基本已经回家了，没有在这个金钟下雀道这边。看看这个天桥哈，再看看。你可以看到这个下雀道。
It's around midnight here, and our live broadcast is also coming to an end.
看基本上都是穿背心的都是记者哈，都是一些记者以及是救护人员。
The protest, the rally today, themed to be to highlight police violence, has been largely rational and peaceful, as the organizers has called on. About 1.7 million people, according to the organizers, have attended the rally. It's a record-breaking number, one of the largest since June, in light of the extradition bill crisis. Right now, most of the protesters who were at the rally have been leaving or in the process of leaving, and there are only a scattered amount of people remaining here, with some first aiders and some people from the press. The road has been cleared mostly. Let's go home together, they shouted. We'll also be wrapping up our live broadcast here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continually be broadcasting the live events happening in Hong Kong in our following weeks. Please stay tuned.